So now we get to really begin. Vipassana is not about 10 days in silence. That's just a misconception. Take a look around at each other. This is your last chance to look other human beings in the face without cheating for the next 10 days. And I know some of you are cheaters, and you'll do it anyway. But now you can do it legally. Take a good look. This is your team. These are your fellow astronauts. Because the shaman said there are two infinities. There's the infinity without, and there's the infinity within. And over the next 10 days, we're going to be exploring the infinity within. Because what Vipassana is, it's a method to explore yourself. The 10 days, the silence, all the other things, they're just a mechanism we use to keep you in a container. Like in alchemy, in alchemical systems, you need a well-sealed vessel to be able to cook the alma mater, to cook the raw material. The silence, the 10 days, this is your well-sealed vessel. But more importantly, your choice to keep yourself well-sealed, to keep yourself sovereign and closed off, to maintain that sovereignty. That's your well-sealed vessel. So maintain it, because we all know you can't cook things as well with the lid off the pot. We need to boil the water a bit. And that's what we're doing with the silence. That's what we're doing with the 10 days. But Vipassana has nothing to do with that. Vipassana is quite simply the simplest method of meditation that I feel any human has ever come up with. And when it gets described to you how to practice it, if you haven't already practiced it, it will seem so simple that you'll think, how can it do all these things that everyone says it does? But it does, because simplicity is the supreme form of perfection. And I didn't come to Vipassana because of retreats and because of traditions and because of gurus. I personally came to Vipassana because my family was deep in suffering. And it was very obvious to me from a young age how much suffering was a part of the human condition. And later I learned it's not just my family. It's not just people born in poverty who have addiction in their families, who have suicide, who have other very obvious issues. I remember years later, I was working in the airport when I was at university in a caviar shop. So I got to meet a lot of very wealthy, well-to-do people traveling around the world. A lot of people with platinum cards and black cards. And so I just tried a little experiment. Most people at the airport, they want to connect for a few minutes. So I would talk to them, and I would just let them talk, and I would listen. And after a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes tops, if I just let people tell me about their life, every single one of them would start talking about their suffering, their particular brand of pain, what they're dealing with, what they're carrying with them. Because although they were rich, although they were successful, although they may look happy on the surface, they have something in them that also is suffering, their own particular brand of suffering. And they want to talk about it. They want to get it out. And I realized, okay, it's not just me, it's not just my family, it's not just my friends, not just the people that you could consider the underprivileged at the time, it's everyone. Vipassana is the Buddha's answer to how we address that suffering. He was also a very wealthy person, probably something like a billionaire or a trillionaire at the time. He was a prince that renounced his kingdom. And he renounced his kingdom because he saw that suffering was an inherent part of the human condition. And he thought, there's no point me doing anything else until I've figured this out. So he abandoned everything and he went on a wander to see if he could figure it out. And Vipassana is his answer to that. And at the end of this 10 days, you can tell me whether you agree that the Buddha figured it out or not. I personally think he did. And I think he gave us the greatest gift that anyone has ever given to humanity. But this 10 days, for each and every one of you, is all about you. It's all about that journey that you're going to take within. So though you are a team of astronauts, you're all traveling alone, because you can only do it alone. When we founded YogiLab, the original tagline for it was spirituality minus the bullshit, and gurus not necessary. The reason for the second one isn't that there aren't gurus. Some of you may have been lucky enough to meet real gurus. They're out there. Apparently there's one teaching next door now, blessing people with Shaktipat. And people can do that. They can bend spoons, levitate, do amazing things. Don't believe me, figure it out for yourself. And they can transmute and transmit energy to other people, and it can have an effect. But the reality of the matter is, how's that going to help you? We could all be sitting around taking some ayahuasca right now, and we'd also change our state. We'll do something much simpler. You just eat a bit of sugar, you're going to feel happier for a few minutes. That's what it does. There's a lot of things that we could do right now. Drugs, alcohol, food, substances, falling in love, compassion from other people. These will change our state. But when you're alone in the middle of the night, or just on the long road you have to walk for the rest of your life, a guru's not going to save you. And if every time you need to be saved, you have to go to a guru to get Shaktipated, then you're not anti-fragile. Whereas what the Buddha gave us is a method that is entirely in our own control. So when you learn this, you become your own guru. The technique becomes your own guru, and you can use it to travel within, and you'll be able to use it for the rest of your life. And this 10 days is just about you learning it enough so that you can use it for the rest of your life. That's all it is. It's not about what happens in this 10 days. Amazing things can happen. It's about you integrating it so deeply within yourself that you can carry it with you wherever you go. I remember after my first course, I knew I had learned something revolutionary and something amazing. And so I went back and I planned to quit my job in 3 months and then go back to live at the center afterwards. But I couldn't do the 3 months. I quit after 1 month and I went back. And I said to myself, I will not leave this center until I have this technique in my bones. Because I knew it's what I've been looking for the 9 years before that I've been practicing. And I've been figuring out my own forms of meditation, like a caveman rubbing sticks together trying to make fire. And then I did Vipassana, and it's like someone had given me a full-formed combi oven. Now I could cook things like that. I'm entirely convinced it works. I know it works. I've seen it work for me, my family, the people I love, and now tens of thousands of other people that I've either watched go through courses or taught myself. But you shouldn't believe me, because that's just me talking. You need to experience it for yourself. And the only way you're going to do that is by giving it a proper test and using it for yourself. Everything I'm saying could be nonsense, because I'm also not a guru, and I don't want to be anyone's guru. I'm just someone who's experienced this technique deeply enough that it absolutely transformed my life. To the point where I used to teach it for free sitting on the side of the road. And I always said that however much money I made, whatever else I did, I would continue to teach it for free. Just because it's changed me so much. And so as you learn it, you're going to realize that the Buddha actually did something marvelous for us. He allowed us to be able to travel that infinity within, the second infinity. And by you being able to travel that, you'll be able to discover what he discovered, which is that the cause of our suffering isn't that we don't have ayahuasca or cocaine or heroin or sugar or love on tap. It's our habit patterns. And our habit patterns are anchored within us because we're consistently reactive to what's going on inside. Because some of us here, and some people very close to me actually, are or have been addicts to a lot of those drugs that I talk about. Some people are addicts to sugar. Some people are addicts to love. or the approval of others. But every single one of us is an addict to the same thing. We're an addict to sensation. Because all those other things are doing is giving us a sensation that we want and taking us away from a sensation that we don't want. It's as simple as that. And that's why it takes a simple technique to address it. And what we're going to do over the next 10 days is we're going to travel deeper and deeper into ourselves to be able to find all the sensations that we're reactive to and to learn to be able to feel them deeply and not react to them. And let's clear it up right at the beginning, that by not reacting to them, we don't mean minimizing them. We don't mean suppressing them or controlling them. We mean letting them be completely what they are and becoming broad enough ourselves to feel them. That's how we let them be. If you need to defend against something, it can be of risk to you. You're signaling that it's of risk to you. If you can accept something fully, then it means it's no risk. You can take it. And so over the next 10 days, you're going to learn two things. You're going to learn the ability to feel yourself on a very acute level, to the point where your awareness will be so sharp that you couldn't believe it could get to that point before you'd experienced it. Where you get way beyond the skin and the blood and the nervous system into the things beneath that. And secondly, you're going to learn to be able to feel everything that that brings up and to learn to be able to not react to it. Because that's how we keep on traveling. If at any point you choose to react, that's where your awareness locks. And it stops the journey within. And then although there may be an infinity within, there's not an infinity for you. There's just the heartbeat. Or that memory you had of your granddad when he was 5 years old that brought up a bittersweet sorrow. Or whatever it is that you're going through personally. Vipassana shows us that we're like a building with an elevator running up it. And we can catch that elevator up to each of the floors. But when the door opens and we see what's outside, it's our choice to walk out. Maybe it opens on one floor and we've got painful memories. It opens on another and we've got fantasies. It opens on another and it's got our aspirations and our dreams. Opens on another and it's got all our experiences with love, both the positive and the negative. And it keeps going. And if any of those things can make you get out of the process of meditation, that means that you become reactive. And it means you're solidifying your experience there. So the 10 days is an opportunity for you not to be swamped by other stimulus so that you can focus on what you're carrying within. Just like when you fast and you stop eating for 10 days, or if you stop eating for a day, if you haven't done 10 days, your body goes into autophagy. It starts to eat up the things inside. We're producing cancer all the time, if you didn't know it. It's not that someone has cancer and someone doesn't have cancer. It's that when we go into autophagy, our body can eat it up and it can start to get rid of it. And sometimes it stops doing that and the cells survive. The 10 days is you fasting, not just from food, but you fasting from all the stimulus that you would normally feed yourself, so that we can clean ourselves out from the inside out. And then when we've done that, when we've reduced the noise, we can open up the lid and see, what else do we have inside? What is there here when I stop distracting myself? What is there here when I stop feeding myself more? What have I accumulated over 20, 30, 40, 50 years of living? What's in the box? And that's when we can really start to travel, because we can filter through all those habit patterns that we've constructed ourselves of. And that's what we're all addicts of. As Joe Dispenza puts it, we're all habits of being ourselves. And this is the opportunity for you to break the habit of being yourself, to learn to be able to feel what you're made of and not react to it, and to travel through it instead. Guru not necessary. You can do this all alone. All you need is the technique, and you can go all the way. I always quote something on these courses that I read in a book about money by Tony Robbins, which is that whether you're buying a Mars bar at a convenience store or you're investing in stocks and shares, you're still an investor. You're still choosing to put your money somewhere. It's just whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously, and skillfully or unskillfully. But every person in this room is an investor. Our awareness is exactly the same. Every single person in this room is an investor of awareness. Every one of you is choosing where to put every increment of your awareness all the time. Whether you're choosing to let that be distracted and pulled away by something else, unconsciously, or whether you're consciously choosing where to put it, it makes no difference. We're all the same. And what Vipassana teaches us to do is it teaches us to consciously and skillfully invest our awareness. And what we're going to do at the beginning of this course is we're going to pull back all of your capital, all of that awareness that you've let be invested in different things. You're going to pull it back so you've got your capital, and you can choose to start from scratch. Where do I want to invest all of this? Where do I want my mind to go? And the technique to do that sounds so simple it's ridiculous, but now you'll understand what it is that we're attempting to achieve. How we're going to start to do that on day 0 and day 1 is everyone is simply going to start to feel the breath beneath their nostrils. And that's the natural breath, the normal breath, not the regulated breath, not the controlled breath. You're going to let your breath be as natural as possible, whether it's deep or shallow, whether it's calm or agitated. Just let it be exactly what it is. Your job isn't to control it. Your job is to simply feel it. How does that pull back our investment? How does that pull all of our awareness? Because when you choose to focus on anything, you're going to notice that your mind gets pulled in different directions. And so the breath is the thing that we're choosing to focus on for lots of reasons that we'll get into later. But we're focusing on the breath, and you're going to see, does my mind stay on the breath or not? If it does, congratulations. You have good control over where you're investing your awareness. If it doesn't, notice what's pulled your mind away. Is it a sensation? Is it a memory? Is it a sound? Is it a hope or a fantasy? Every one of those things that you notice tugging your mind away, your awareness away, is one of your investments. It's one of the things that you've invested a portion of your awareness in that now has a piece of your capital. And every time it can pull you away, it's proving that it has control over you. It has power over you. If that's the case, don't be upset. It's just day 0. All you need to do is you need to feel where that thing is pulling you, and without finishing the thoughts, without exploring it, without going further into it, just pull your awareness back, straight to your breath. Note what it was that distracted you and come back to your breath. Don't get upset. That's adding another layer of reactivity. That's making another investment. Just come back, feel your breath, and let go of what was pulling you away. Let it be like a cloud in the sky, just passing by. Yes, you can see it, but it has no control over you. It may obscure the sun for a minute, but eventually it will pass. The sun is still there. By you doing this, you're going to do 2 things. 1, you're going to identify all the things that you're still reactive to. All the things that still have control over your mind and can pull you in different directions. And you're going to notice something. There's not a million of them. There's not even 100,000 of them. There may be lots of them, but there's only a few types of them. And when you notice, oh, that's another memory of my father. Oh, another memory of my past. Oh, that's another sensation that distracted me. Oh, that's another fantasy. You start to notice there's only a few buckets. And once you realize there's only a few places you've invested and you're aware of them, those forces lose control, lose the ability to control you. And then you can do the second thing, which is you accumulate your awareness. As you focus here beneath the nostrils, as we're going to learn in a few minutes, you're going to start to feel this presence of awareness accumulate beneath them. And you're going to start to collect everything here. And slowly or not so slowly, you'll notice that all the distractions lose their power to pull you away. And you're going to start to condense and gather your awareness here. That's your raw capital that we're going to choose to invest later in the course. So pull as much of it back now as you can. We talked a little bit about the structure of this course. The 8 hours in the morning where you're going to be left alone to do whatever you want to do. There's a very important reason for that. I've wanted to run a course like this for the last 5 or 10 years since I first had this idea. And that's because one thing always seemed slightly out of sync in the way that I was teaching or others were teaching Vipassana. And it's not that it's wrong, because it produces great results. It's that we need to put people in this prison to practice. We need to tell them, you're stuck here, and you have to follow these rules for 10 days, and this is the way it's going to work. And it does work, because we cut people off from the outside world and stimulus. But then the same thing kept on happening. First just with a few people I'd talked to, and then later, after I knew thousands of people like that, it started to accumulate more and more. That so many people went deep on the courses, but those same people found it hard to anchor the practice in their day-to-day life. These people would have amazing peak experiences, they would have transformations, and then they'd go back to their lives, and they wouldn't be able to practice deeply. Slowly, they'd lose the ability to do that. And only a small percentage of people keep up the practice, and not only keep it up, accelerate and go deeper, which is what every teacher wants. You want the students to go deeper and further than you've taught them. And I saw this with the other traditions first, and then I see it with the people I've taught myself. And one of the big reasons is that on the course, you give up the semblance of control. You give up the semblance of autonomy. It's like you're in this course now, and we're looking after you, and we're making choices for you, and you get to practice. But that's just an illusion. You're always in control. It's the one thing that no one can take away from you. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. You could choose to get up right now and walk out of this room, and it would be your choice. Someone could choose to forcibly stop you, but it's your choice to fight back. And Vipassana, at the core of it, teaches us that we're free. So I don't feel we should learn something from the standpoint of not being free from the beginning. You are free. And so if you wake up at 4, 5, 6, you have 8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours to do what you want with your day. And you can exercise that freedom. So that when you do leave this very beautiful prison, but a prison albeit, and you go back to your life, you've already had enough time practicing in your own space, flexing that muscle of autonomy to know that you can do it yourself. You don't need a guru. You don't need me. You don't need the asthana. You don't need a group of people to meditate with. You can do it all on your own. And that's what you should use your mornings for, to show yourself that. Because what you're going to find is that the technique is going to teach you that on deeper and deeper layers. Things that you thought were ingrained parts of your character, you're going to realize on this journey were choices. Whether you made them consciously or unconsciously. You made a choice to accumulate the habit patterns that make you the person you are. And the deeper you can go with that choice, the deeper you can change. So thank you all for choosing to be here, because I know it can be difficult, but it can also be beautiful and wonderful. Like a lot of things in life, you've got to be willing to go through the difficulty and the pain to get to that point. And that's what we're going to do. Hopefully, there'll be more beauty than difficulty and pain. Let's see how quickly we can get into that. The Buddha's teaching was open source from the beginning. He didn't try to own anything. Even when he first started to teach, he didn't say that he discovered this technique. He said that he rediscovered it. And every being that approaches enlightenment discovers the same technique. He just went to the other side, learned it again, and came back and brought it and gave it to us. He didn't make a religion. He didn't even make a school. He would get funded, or he would just sit in a field to teach whoever was there. And then he would tell them, go away and practice on your own. Go to a forest, go to a mountain, go to a cave, and find a space to practice. So nobody owns Vipassana. It's something that was taught freely from the beginning. And when you have it, it's entirely yours. And so Vipassana is not a religion. It's a technique. And it's a technique that you can all choose to use how you see fit once you learn it. Because I can teach you the technique, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to teach it to you imperfectly. Because I am imperfect. I've learned it, and it works for me, and I know what I'm doing. But I remember when my mom was first teaching me how to drive, and she was just driving around explaining things to me when I was a teenager. This is how you do it. She would stop sometimes, and she couldn't remember how to do something. And it's something she did every day, hundreds of times. You know, shifting gears, the way that you push and pull on the accelerator and the brake. But she'd have to stop and think, oh, how do I actually do this? Because she hadn't thought about it for the last 25 years since she learned. Vipassana is like that. You're going to learn the method, and it's going to work for you, and you're going to be able to navigate it. But the only way you're going to get there is through your own direct experience. I can tell you how to do it. I can tell you this is the method, but you have to learn to apply it correctly. And so every teacher that teaches Vipassana is going to teach it to a degree imperfectly. And you have to take those instructions and you have to apply them to yourself and practice them so much that you know what the thing is that's being referred to. You develop that unconscious competence that comes where you're not even sure how to explain it to someone, but you know exactly what you're doing. You've got the reflex of it. That's where I want to get you through these 10 days. I want to get you to the point where Vipassana is automatic for you. And if I was going to go even further, I would say Vipassana isn't even really a technique. Vipassana is actually what we're all doing all the time. All the time we're using our awareness. We're just either doing it consciously or unconsciously, skillfully or unskillfully. And when we sit in this hall, all we're going to practice is how to do it consciously and skillfully. And then when you go outside, when you go back to your life, that's when you're actually practicing it. And you're seeing, have I learned this? Is this ingrained in me? Do I have this in my head, or do I have it in my bones? And I want you to have it in your bones. Because every day when we walk around, we're choosing to focus on stimulus. We're interacting with people, and we're reacting to them. We're responding to them. And you're going to find that when you close your eyes and you sit there and meditate, it's not very different. All your experience is going to come back to you. And you're going to have the choice whether to react to them or not. And so you had this 0 to 1 choice in these first few days when we practice of whether to react to your internal world or to meditate. And the more you meditate in these first few days, the more we can start to be able to use that awareness appropriately later in the course. So see how much of your awareness you can collect. Let's all start to do it now. A few things in the beginning. If anyone has glasses on or their hair tied up, then take them off or loosen up your hair. Because you'll accumulate sensation at the back of your head if your hair is tied up. And the glasses resting on your face will be the same thing. Then just let your body settle into the mat. Whatever position you picked. Let yourself sink and rest on the ground. And then let your body completely relax. like you're made of jelly. Even you losing your posture for a minute. Let yourself collapse like a spineless body. And feel what it feels like, at least for a few seconds, not to tense at all. If you were just going to let your body hang, how would it feel? And then when you've done that, sit back up. And now sit in your perfect posture with all your muscles activated. And then find the middle point between those two, where your spine is straight. But it's straight because it's resting on your hips that are resting on the ground. But your muscles are relaxed. And then just start to feel the breath coming in and out of your nostrils. When you do this, you might start to notice that there's tension in your face that you hadn't noticed before when you were relaxing. That there's tension in your neck, in your shoulders, in your back. At the beginning of each sit, let this drop as you notice it. Let those shoulders drop. Let your face relax. Anyone here who isn't a cheater is not going to be looking at your face for the next 10 days. So you don't need to put an expression on for anyone. And then bring your awareness back to the breath. Feel it coming in and out of your nostrils. Doing your best not to control or regulate it. Just letting it be as natural as possible. So we're staying aware of the breath without controlling it. And then in your mind, set a boundary for your awareness. Tell your awareness that it cannot move outside of the area called the larger triangle. From the top of your nose, between your eyebrows, down to the corners of your mouth. This is the larger triangle. Larger for some of us than others. And so even though you're feeling the breath, do not allow your awareness to move outside of this larger triangle. This is how we start to accumulate and condense our awareness. And that is how you start to develop the clarity and the control to take this journey within that we're about to go on. So accumulate as much as possible. Don't be distracted by the world around us. Don't be distracted by the world within us. If you notice your mind drifting away like a balloon, then just pull it back. Gently pull it back to the breath. And then focus on the breath, coming in and out of the nostrils. Every time your mind drifts away, it's not a problem. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to flex that mind-muscle connection and to bring your awareness back. And like every muscle, every time you flex it, you strengthen it. So get familiar with this action of noticing that you've been distracted, maybe even a percentage. Maybe you've even left a piece of your awareness on your breath, but you're half thinking about something else. Bring all of your awareness back, 100% of your awareness back. And every time you do this, you're telling your awareness that you're in control of it, not your habit patterns, not your complexes, not your reactivity. This muscle may have atrophied. And every time you flex this muscle, this free will muscle, you strengthen it. So let's get as strong as possible this first night. If you find yourself starting to tense up, then remember that you're meant to focus but relax. As we go deeper into collecting our awareness, it can produce some tension. Get used to releasing this, letting it relax as it accumulates. And at the same time, coming back to your breath. Seeing just how acutely and clearly you can feel the breath coming in and out of your nostrils. Seeing how much you can focus and relax into that. Like the waves on the shore, coming in, going out. If your mind starts to get tired or dull or starts to wander, then good. It's an opportunity for you to feel how easily you can focus when you're in those states. Can I still feel my breath when I'm tired? When my mind starts to wander? Or are these conditions enough to distract me? Before we take a break, there's a few more things that we have to learn tonight to make sure we can practice properly tomorrow. One of them is that especially on the first couple of days, everyone has a lot of tension and tiredness to get out. So if you feel the need to lay down, resist it, and instead go into the recovery position. So child's pose in yoga. If you really feel like you can't sit up and you just need to let your body collapse, do it, but give yourself a frame to do it within. Is everyone familiar with child's pose? Just give me a nod if it's a yes. Thomas, can I get a model here, please? So we said that there were some yoga poses we teach to help to iron out your back and make sure that everything is good throughout the course. So one of them, the recovery position if you're tired, is child's pose. And obviously it's like that, or either with your arms back behind your body as well. And so if you really feel the need to completely relax and just let your body collapse, then do that instead of lying down. Then we have the opening and closing sequence, and we can all do this together now. And so first is, as you come out of your posture, go into the Bushman pose, or goddess in yoga. So as we get out of meditation, the first thing we want to remember is not to stop meditating as we come out of our posture. So as we transition, keep your awareness focused on the breath. If you're one of the people that this is an uncomfortable position for and you're still working your ankles down to the ground, then do your best to get there before the end of the course. And hopefully by the end of the course, it will become a resting position for you. And this will help to even out your spine as we come out of our first meditative posture. Use it as a transition to keep your awareness on the breath before we get up. Then third, you can go into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Or if Cobra is difficult for you, you can do Sphinx. Sphinx is with your elbows on the ground. Cobra is palms on the ground. See how it feels focusing on your breath in this posture. Get used to the transition, moving from one thing to the next, but still keeping awareness of the breath. A change in posture does not mean an end to the meditation. And then just relax when you're done with it. Let yourself lay flat on the ground as much as you need to as you come out, or go back into child's pose. And then as you get up, another meditative posture that we're going to be using a lot on this course towards the end is forward bend. It's your feet hip width apart. If possible, your legs straight, and then your fingers touching your toes. And do your best to keep your fingers on your toes, not on the mat, because we want a complete circuit of the body. If you're not flexible enough to get your fingers to your toes, then your hands can rest on your ankles or on your knees. And again, do your best to use this as a meditative posture. If it's a deep stretch for you, then pull out of it a little bit. Don't stretch so deeply. Hold it as a meditation. Throughout the course, as we go into the meditation or as we come out of it, if your body's feeling any tension, and you're genuinely worried about the effects on your posture of the long sitting, then you can use these postures to make sure that you iron all these kinks out before we get up. And then finally, coming all the way up into Tadasana. Again, that's feet hip-width apart, second toes pointing forwards, and then arms straight up. Palms facing inwards. Do your best to relax the shoulders as much as possible while the arms are still going straight up. And then when you're ready, just let yourself completely relax. And before you move, collect your awareness on your breath. Build it as a habit that as we transition from one posture to the next, we put extra effort into feeling the breath, extra effort into recollecting our awareness before we move again. So as we take a break and as you start to move around, you're not coming out of meditation, you're just changing posture. So let's take a 5-minute break now and test just walking around the sites and coming back while staying in meditation, which you're going to need to do a lot of tomorrow. Let's come back in 5 minutes. let's build the habit of when we come back together, accumulating our awareness as quickly as we can. In the transition of getting up, sitting back down, moving, it's easy to become distracted. It's easy to let our awareness become blunt. So as soon as you sit back down, start to close your eyes. Feel the breath coming in and out of the nostrils. And get used to this sensation of the awareness accumulating, condensing, starting to amass beneath your nostrils. And you'll notice it's not just a figure of speech. You can feel the pressure of the accumulation there. And as you accumulate more and more awareness, it becomes easier to feel every time something wants to pull your awareness away. Every time one of your distractions pops back up. And all you need to do is come back to the breath. Use this last session tonight to see how long it takes you to recollect your awareness. To gather yourself after you might have been distracted. And to continue to go deeper. This first step in the course is so important because if we want to travel within with the awareness, we need to become immune to our distractions. We need to be able to choose where and when to place our awareness. And when anything starts to pull against it, our willpower, our free will needs to be stronger than the thing pulling us in another direction. So see just how strong you can get it tonight. Notice when something is pulling you in another direction. Notice how much control it exerts over you. And see if you can let it go. And just come back to your breath. When we're all finished here, we're going to need to lay down and go to sleep. So let's practice one last position for tonight to get ready for that. When everyone's ready, just lay down flat on your mats and see if you can transition whilst keeping full awareness of the breath. Full awareness of the breath. The Buddha said there were 4 meditation postures: seated, standing, walking, and laying. It basically means we can meditate whichever posture we're in. Whether there's a cat licking our toes or not. So just lay down and continue to gather your awareness under your nostrils. On the first couple of days of these courses, people usually have a lot more tension to let go of. As we start to tap deeper into ourselves, all the tension under the surface comes out, and we have to relax to let it go. So you may spend a long time laying in bed tonight, tomorrow morning. And good for you to be able to practice while you do that. So feel the breath coming in and out of your nostrils. Notice if there's any tension in your body, in the way you're laying, the position of your hands, your arms, your legs. If there is, adjust and let it go. And naturally, when you lay in this position, your mind might start to wander as you drift into sleep. Do your best just to keep your awareness on the breath. Not in a tight, tense way, but just naturally. Letting the breath be as it is. Maintaining awareness of it. Feeling it come in and out of your nostrils. Without you being pulled away into distraction. And if you do lose consciousness and go to sleep, then see if you can regain it. Regain awareness of your breath, even in your dreams. So that when you wake up in the morning, you'll wake up meditated and focused, with an unbroken thread of awareness that's traveled with you. Every time we allow our awareness to move, to be pulled away by something against our will, we're breaking this thread of awareness. And we're saying the distraction is more powerful than our free will. If that's the case, then don't get upset with yourself. We're just learning. Some distractions may overpower you. But as soon as you notice them, just come back to the breath. Training that focus in this position, so there's nowhere we can move throughout this course that can take us out of meditation. You have 10 days to relax into this before you go back to your regular life. So let's use every second of it to take you deeper. To let this skill sink deeper and deeper into your bones. So you'll carry it with you wherever you go. The breath should be the last thing that we feel before we fall asleep. And the first thing that we feel when we wake up. So tonight, you take your own time. You get up when you're ready. But when you do, carry your awareness with you. Move with the awareness of your breath. And when you do lay down tonight to go to sleep, make sure you don't break that thread of awareness. See if you can keep it continuous as much as possible throughout the next 10 days. But take all the time you need laying here in the hall first. And then start your practice again when you wake up tomorrow. If you're going off-site, then see if you can maintain your awareness of your breath all the way home. We'll start again together tomorrow. Continue to go deeper within and explore your internal landscape. But for now, until 12, you're in charge of your own practice. Take responsibility for your own practice. Continue to cultivate your awareness.